welcome back to Stylish Nigeria YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your love, for your support. If you are new to the channel, you're welcome. And if you have not subscribed, please, I would appreciate for you to hit on the subscribe button. It actually takes nothing for you to do that. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew this halter neck dress with a slit at the down part of our gown. So that's what we're going to learn how to cut and sew today, and it also has a collar. So that's what we're going to learn. It's a very simple tutorial. As a beginner, you will be able to pull this off after watching this video. Okay guys, so let's just get started. So for today, I'm going to be using my basic bodice top, my half bodice block. So you can use any basic bodice pattern of your choice. So for this, I just decided to use the one with a waist dart. Okay, you can use the princess dart, you can use the shoulder dart. Okay, so let's get started. So now we're going to adapt this into an halter neckline. It's a very simple process. When I say simple, you know I mean simple. So let's just get started. So before I continue, this is the fabric that I'm going to be making use of. So this is Ankara fabric, and I have about 3 yards of the fabric. And then this is my lining to match that I'm going to be making use of for this. Okay, so if you want to register for my online classes, you can just see my number on the screen. Send me a message on WhatsApp, and then I'll give you the details of all of the classes we have presently available. So you can see this is our pattern. So we have a neckline already of 3 inches wide, which is appropriate. So the next thing I'm going to do from this 3 inches, all I'm just going to do, I'm just going to come down from this point. So depends. So there are some patterns you can just go from here, but why I don't want to just go from here like this is because I'm going to lose some inches. So it's better for me to have something to hold on to. So with that, so I'm just going to come down a little bit on the neckline. You know, the length, that's the depth of the neckline. Okay, the wideness is 3 inches, yes. So for the depth of the neckline, I'm going to make it 1.5. Okay, so with that, it will be easy for me to work with. So I'll just connect that back down, and then after connecting that back down, this I'm going to come to this part here like this. So I'm going to mark half of an inch. So you can do one, if for instance you can do 1 inch, which is still okay. So I'm marking, so I just came down by half of an inch. So from this half of an inch, now why I'm doing this, because I don't want to lose any inches. So at the end of it, after stitching that half inch, it's still going to align with the neckline. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take it like this. So you can see I'm placing my pattern curve nicely, and I'm just going to float that into the neckline area. I don't want my armpit, the armpit area, our armhole rather, to be too open. Okay, so you can see, so I've blend that in, so that you can see how simple it is to create a halter neckline pattern. It's not a big deal. So we have done that. So I'll just cut this out now. So if you notice, as I'm cutting it, I did not cut it on the exact line. I still added a little bit of about 1/4 of an inch of allowance to it. So that's what we have. So for the neckline, I've not cut it out yet. I'm going to transfer this on my fabric. So I'll use this. I'll cut out the back and the front. So the back, I'm just going to add a zip allowance to my back pattern. I'll do that and then show you how it looks like. Okay, so I've cut out the frame. So the next thing now, I'm just trying to trim this, and then I'll just do this. Okay, so you can see how simple and easy this is. So the next thing, I'm going to transfer this to my lining. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. So I'm trying to check how wide I want it. So I want it to come in as much as about 1.5 inches, okay? So that 1.5 inches, I'm just going to place it here. I'll make it 2 inches or 2.5 inches, because I'm going to pipe it inside. So I'll make it about 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to mark it round like this, using the shape of the armhole, okay? So you can see what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to get the same armhole shape. So when it sits on it, it will relax. it's not going to it's not going to have any issue. So the next thing I'm going to do now, cut this out. So I'm going to cut place and then cut the second one for the second armhole. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing to the back. And then when I finish, I'll show you how I'll go and stitch it, and then I'll show you how to actually stitch it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll just iron gum stay on it, soft gum stay, and then I'll show you how we're going to fix it on the armhole area. Okay guys, so after cutting, so you can see how it looks like. So I've cut them out on my actual fabric piece, and then I've cut out my lining also. So I'm going to, before I continue, so I'm just going to try to show you. So this is my actually my front piece. So this is how it's going to stay. So I'm actually going to stitch this. I'll stitch these ones from the inside, and then I'll stitch this from the outside. So I'm trying to create that little cape, like a cape, or like a facing rather, yeah, on the armhole area. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I have some leftover fabric here, which I'm going to be making use of. So for this, I have satin fabric. So what I'm going to do, I'm just trying to place this and then get an accurate shape out first before I continue. That's what I'm trying to say. Get my armhole. Okay. So now I've gotten the curve. The next thing is how many inches do I want? How wide do I want it to be on the armpit area or the armhole area? Okay, so this is what I'm trying to explain. So this is how it's going to sit. So you can see it looks good. So I'll just do what I explained. I'll iron interfacing and then come back and show you. Okay, so I want to stitch now. So this is my lining. So I'm going to place my piece like this. This is the right side of my piece. So this is the fabric that I made with my facing, for the facing rather. So I'll place that under like this, and then I'm going to run a straight stitch on it around the armhole area. So after stitching, I'm going to trim this part, and then I'm going to flip it like this. So this is the right side, and then I'll bend this part like this just to navigate the curve like that, and then I'll iron it down nicely, and then I'll stitch it. So I'll just do that. Before then, I'll trim out the excess here, and then just do like I explained now. Okay guys, so you can see I finished stitching. So I've joined everything, so it looks good and okay. So the next thing we're going to do now is for us to cut the collar. So I'll use this satin again to cut my collar. So but before I cut my collar, I'm going to measure around the neckline. So I'll place the front and the back together, and then I'm going to do this. So at the end of the day, I have about 13 inches here, which is 6.5. So my zip allowance is still inside. So the zip allowance that I have is about 2 inches. So I'll add that 2 inches. So I'm going to cut out 15.5. So I have my fabric here. It is already folded into two. Okay, so I want my collar to be like about 2 inches wideness. So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm folding it. I want to cut both of them together. I want to cut the collar at once. So on this top part, I'm just going to come down by, okay, before then, 15.5. So 15.5. So I'll just approximate it to like 16.5 because I need allowance that I'll use to join it. Okay, so it's going to be here. So the next thing I'll do from that point, I'm going to come down by half of an inch. Okay, so that half of an inch. So if you notice what I'm trying to do, because I'm going to open the collar up, I'll just blend it into this part. It's not entirely straight. If you notice it, what I'm trying to do is a little bit curvy, not really straight. So the next thing, like I said, I want 2 inches collar, so I'll cut 2.5. So that 2.5, I'll mark it here, That other half inch is what I'll use to join it. I use quarter on top and then quarter down. Okay, so I'll just mark them together like that. So I'm just trying to to curve it. So this is like a very simple collar. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. So if you notice, it is not really entirely straight like that. So the next thing, I'm going to try and cut this out now. Let's see. Okay, so I just keep that excess on that side. So for this color, I don't really need to shape it on the side because it's going to the zip allowance part, which is okay. So it's not like the one that you give shape to. No. So the next thing now, I'm going to cut this. So like I said, this one is not straight. So I just wanted to cut it together. You can actually open it up. So the next thing, I'm going to open this up so that I can straighten it properly to make sure that my cuff. So if you notice, you see how the up is, and then you see how the down is not like straight. So the next thing, what I'm trying to do now, I'm just trying to reduce the length. Okay, so I'll still maintain that curve like that. I'll maintain it like that. So at the end of the day, this is what I have. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this now back to my machine. The way that I'm going to do it, that it will be easy. This part, I'm going to just stitch it down like this. Here and here, I'll stitch it down. Then open it from the collar part to join it. But before then, this part, I'm going to iron interfacing on it so that it will have a little bit of structure. And then I'll, after ironing it, I'll sew it here like this on this part. I'll sew this part close, and then I'm going to have this side open. So I'll open up I'll iron, turn it over, and then give it a good iron. But I'm going to show you how to do the stitching. So I'll go and do that and then come back and show you. Okay guys, so you can see I finished stitching it. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I've ironed it out. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the two edges. So I'll fold this edge in a little bit and then fold this edge in also like this. And then I'm going to use a top stitch. So note, I did not sew it and turn it. So I'll just maintain the edges like that, and then I'll secure it down with a straight stitch. But if you cannot do this as a beginner, you can actually just sew and turn, but this actually makes it to relax more. So I'll do that and then show you how to fix it. Okay, so we're going to start stitching now. So this was what I said. So you see I've folded the two edges inside and then I've ironed it flat. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to start stitching it. So this part I just secured it because I don't want it to, I don't want, so I'll just secure it this way. It's not like I'm pinning it on top of each other. I just want them to like stay together. Okay. So the thing is getting difficult. So let me just leave that. And then I'm going to take this. So I have excess. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the center. So that will make it easy for me. So this is the center. So this center is going to be here at the center like this. So I'll just secure that part first so that I'll know that it is the center, okay? And then I'm going to open this up. So I've not stitched that center part. Oh. Note, I've not stitched that part. I'm just placing this first. And then I'll bring this one, this second one, the other armhole area. So I'll place them together like this. So I'm going to start stitching. Okay. So I'll place them here like this. And then I'll make sure that they are sitting on the stitch part. Okay. So for this armhole side, depends on how many inches you want to use to open it, as in the neckline, the area. But mine is just going to be about like half of an inch because the this is a small size. But if it's somebody that is big, so you can just measure the neckline around the person's neckline. So that will make it easy. So I'm placing them like this together. and then I'm going to start stitching it. Okay, so the other one, so this is the second one, so I'm taking out that center one, so that I'll be able to place it properly. So the stitch continues, it's not opening, so everything now, so I'm literally securing everything down. So my thread I've cut, so I'll just stitch that back and then come and show you again. Okay, so I just continue, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm placing the neckline in between, and then I'm just making sure that I'm securing it very neatly. So you can see what I'm doing. So this is the other part. So like I said, the shoulder area, I'm not really giving much space, so I can just, what if if the neckline is, the person is bigger, you can just decide to shift it a little bit. You can see, so that you have this kind of space in between the arm, the two armholes. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'll just continue like that. So I'm going to, so you can see the thread I've even removed again. So I'll just the way I did it, I'll just finish it up and then iron it and come back and show you. Okay. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, so you can see I finished stitching it. See how it looks like. So you can see the inside. You can see it is neat. So the next thing is for me to join the side, and then I'll bring it for us to go and cut the, so you can see I'll join the side and then I'll bring it to cut the down part of our gown. Okay guys, so you can see I have finished stitching. So I just made a little bit of band for the front, so I just stitched it. I just made it straight and then stitched it on it, so you can see the back, how it looks like. Okay, so the next thing, so you see the neckline area, like I said, is okay. So the next thing now, we're going to cut the skirt. So for the skirt, I have my remaining fabric here. You know, the whole of this dress, I'm actually using 3 yards of fabric. So I folded this fabric now, so I'm going to fold it into 4 at an angle. Okay, so I want to cut out the whole gown. The full length of the gown is about 57 inches. So I'm just going to take this, I'll fold it at an angle. So I'm folding them together, both the back and the front, so you can see. I'm folding it together like this. So I'm just going to make use of what I have, the wideness. So this part, I'm just going to cut out this part straight. So the next thing, I'm going to make sure that I have excess here for the waist, which is okay. So this is 10 inches, which is about 14. The waist is just about 26. So I have it enough. So this will help me to create that flare. So I'll cut that out, and then I'm just going to maintain this angle like this, so you can see the angle, how it is to that end. Okay, so I hope you can see it. So for the down part, I'm just going to cut this part like this and just curve it in this way. So you can see this is a very simple way. So you can see I have a fillet. That's just like a very simple way of cutting an A-line fillet. So you can see what I have here. I'm going to open this up, so you can see that I have excess. I have a lot of excess. So that excess that I have, for the center part, I'm going to open it up. I'll open both the back and the front because the back has a zip allowance, and then the front also has that facing at the middle, which I'm going to attach to it. So I'll open them up and then come and show you how to fix that facing at the center. Okay guys, so I've opened the front skirt just like I said. So if you notice, this is the first part, this is one piece of it. So I'm going to explain what I did. So I've not secured it down yet, but here is what I did. So I just cut out my fabric again. So it depends on how many inches, how wide you want it to be. Okay, so for this I have about 2 inches. So this is the right side of my fabric. I'm going to take this like this. I'm going to stitch it. I'm actually going to stitch it like this. You can see the right side is facing the wrong side. So I'll stitch it down. Once I stitch it down, it's going to stay like this. And then I'm going to flip this inside. As I'll now flip it to the right side. So this is it now. After stitching it, it will look like this. And then I'll flip it in. And then I'll use about half quarter of an inch to secure it down like this. So I've folded it, I'll iron it down straight, and then I'll run a stitch on it. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back and show you so how we're going to join them together. Okay, it is a simple process. So after that, I'll take both of them and then I'll place them on top of each other. I'll place one at quarter of an inch. I'll just place it on top. You can see it has a neat inside, so I'll just place them together like this, and then I'll use a stitch. I'll just run a stitch on it. Or another way I can do this is I can, when I'm stitching, I can decide to just leave quarter of an inch. So when I'm done, this one is just going to stay here like this, and then I'm going to just secure it down to where I want my covering to be. Okay, so that's what I'll go and do now, and then I'll bring it back and still explain it more for you. So after that, I'm going to take them like this, and then I'll place it just tiny, and then I'm going to give it a stitch. That's like a top stitch. I'll use the same matching thread, or the other option that we can do, you can hold it like this from the inside, and then we'll join it. So you have two options. So like hold them together like this, as we place them together like this, and then I'm going to join it so you can see. I'll join it from the inside up to where I want the slit to get to. Okay, so after joining it, so that you are using this edge, this stitch to join it. So you are this side that you folded, you are not touching it. It's here you will use. That is, see, you open them up like this, and then you take them like this. See, you see, and then run a stitch from the inside like this. So after running the stitch, it's now going to stay like this, you can see. And then the next thing, we will now be able to secure this down like this. So you can see how easy it is, up to where, depends on where you want your the slit to be. Okay, so I hope you understand what I just explained. So I'll go and do that and then bring it back and show you. Okay guys, so you can see how our facing looks like. You can see it came out really fine. So see the inside, so you can see I just bring it so close. You can see so neat on the inside and then on the outside. So this is how you actually sew this facing easily and neatly. So the next thing that is remaining now is just for me to join my skirt to my dress. That's, I will join the top part. So this is the front, so which I'm still going to trim a little bit. I'll just trim it a little bit because I'll open it if I don't want to trim it, and just stitch it straight and then join the back. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, you can see our halter neck gown looks like with skirt facing. So it could not fit into my mannequin because it's a small size, so I had to just spread it on the table. But other than that, it came out fine and neat. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate for you to do that. Thank you so much guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.